All right, so we're good. Are we live? I think we are. Hello and welcome back to Women's Football Chat Live. Tonight we continue our coverage of the 2025 Women's Euros, and today it's our final quarter-final matchup, and it's a big one. France taking on Germany. Should be a really interesting tie, this. Top of Group D, and France taking on second in Group C in Germany. So two sides who've been very good at this tournament so far. Germany's only blemish on their record, a loss to Sweden. France, flawless thus far. So it points towards a very exciting game, Harry. It's difficult not to be excited about games like this.
Yeah, 100%. As you say, it's always good to see two big names going hammer and tong against each other in the quarterfinals. And I think on paper, it presents as a really, really exciting encounter. It's a repeat of the 2022 semi-final. Obviously, Germany came out on top in that one and went on to lose the final to England. But great to see these two sides meeting again at a European Championships, and it does seem to set up to be a good tie. However, the tournament and the results have differed for both sides. As you say, France have been absolutely brilliant and have won all three of their group games, beat the reigning champions, beat the 2017 winners as well. They're having a great time. Germany, not so much. Yes, they got through, and yes, they won 2 out of 3 games, but they were absolutely smashed by Sweden. Even without the red card, it still would have been an embarrassing performance. I thought they weren't good enough against Denmark, and they huffed and puffed a little bit against Poland. And individual quality will get you across the line through the group stage, but tonight Germany have to play better as a unit. Again, as I think individually they've looked superb. Jule Brand comes into this game, 2 goals, 2 assists, in the first 3 matches. That's absolutely brilliant. But Germany can't rely on Jule Brand to beat France. It's going to take a better performance. They've got to look better tactically. The team has to be more balanced. If they get it right, 100% they've got the quality to beat France tonight. But a lot of pressure now on Christian Vuk and his team to get it right. Systematically, tactically, they have to get it spot on because France have looked brilliant. And credit to Laurent Bonnaday and his team because they flew through the group stage, and they'll be hoping that if they can get through tonight, get one over Germany for that semi-final defeat 3 years ago and put themselves in a tie up against the reigning world champions, I think that is a challenge that France would really look forward to. So it will be business as usual for the French. For Germany, it needs to be a major step up from the group stage.
Yeah, to circle back to your comments a moment ago about Germany in that final game against Sweden, we'll get to that in a second, but quite a lot of rotation for Germany this evening. Do you think that result has caused this, and is it panic or is it frustration from Christian Vuk?
I think it's the right decision, to be completely honest. We saw very similar sides take the field in all 3 group stage games, and I don't think they were particularly great in any of them. So changing up the side for the quarterfinals makes sense to me. A little bit of it is through necessity, a little bit of it is due to performance. So I think Christian Vuk already has got that one spot on. Realising the performances haven't been good enough and making some personnel changes.
Yeah, definitely. A few questions coming in chat about the lineup. So let's get into it. We'll start with France then. A 4-3-3 for France. And, they've changed a lot of their teams throughout this tournament, and that hasn't changed going into this game. In goal, the only constant, really, Pero Magnin starts between the sticks. In the back four, Dialmeida and Bock, the captain, Lacra and Salma Bacha. In the midfield 3, it's Gaioro, Jean-Francois and Karchaoui, and a front line of Castrino, Katoto and Diani. Harry, let's start by looking at the back line. More changes. Sombath out of the side. Does that feel like a harsh benching to bring Mbok back into the lineup?
I don't think so. Yes, Sombath has done pretty well at this tournament, but Lacra has also been very, very good. Mbok is a top quality centre half, is the French captain, so she was always going to return at some point in this Euros. But overall, across the board, I think that Bonnaday has got this spot on. As you say, they rotated a lot against Wales in match week 2. They've chopped and changed who the starters have been across match week 1 and match week 3 against England and Netherlands. So coming into this, to be honest, I look at this and I think this is France's strongest 11. The front 3 look absolutely brilliant. Again, also you could add, no Sondy Baltimore, but I just think that for me, the front 3 would have looked like Baltimore, Katoto and Diani, but the way that Cascarino played against Netherlands, I think she's kind of to be fair, across the tournament, has done brilliantly. I think she's kind of forced her way into this side, so it's France are in a luxury position where they've got so many good quality players, they can just pick the 11 game to game. tonight they're looking for transition, they're looking for pace in behind, and they've opted to go for Cascarino, Katoto and Diani. I have no problem with that. Baltimore, very much, very good at bringing the ball forwards, a bit more of a physical winger, very good in the one-on-ones, and it looks to take people on. France tonight, they want to get in behind. They want to be beyond those players, and they want to use pace to catch Germany in transition. So I do think that is the right decision to name that front three. And overall, I think the starting 11 for France is spot on to take on Germany.
Yeah, I mean, you took the words right out of my mouth there. New asked at bottom on the bench, what are your thoughts on that? Is it resting or tactical? It's tactical. We saw Germany get caught out. They're playing quite a high line at this tournament. I think that may be behind the tactical or potential tactical tweak today, trying to combat that. But France will look to break into that space in behind. So bringing in Diani, who is very good in transitional moments, makes a lot of sense for me. So yeah, pretty plain and simple. A very good tactical change there from Bonado. A very sensible tactical change, provided Germany play the same way as you would expect. So should be interesting. Phil, welcome to the stream. Alyssa, welcome. Paul as well. Yi Chen, Johanna, so many in the live stream chat. And a new viewer from France, Lamouche, welcome to the stream, asking something in French and says salut. Salut. Welcome to the stream. Let's get into the Germany lineup then, because that's the more interesting one. It's presenting as either a 4-3-3 with a new role for Janina Minga, or a 5-4-1 or 3-4-3 type of formation for Germany today. In goal, Ann-Katrine Berger. A back five of Linda moving to right back. Hendrik, Captain Minga, Knack and Kett. Across the four in midfield, it's Brand, Sens, Nusken and Buell. And leading the line, no Lea Schuler. Instead, it's Giovanna Hoffmann. So let's talk about those big decisions, Harry. Not many options at right back, preferring to put Linda there and bringing in a left back. Is that what you expected to see?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, we could have seen Hendrik there, but she's come in today to play centre half. We could have seen Kleinhern then, but I just think opting for experience, and Linda came in and did a good job on that right hand side, and I think we've seen Kett involved more in the national side setup than we have maybe other players. I think it would have been a big risk to bring Kleinhern in for this one. Don't get me wrong, a good player, but it's a tough ask for whoever. It's a tough ask for Kett coming in at left back. It was always going to be a difficult one. I thought that it was a split second decision from Vamsler. She didn't really think about it, and a sloppy red card to end up picking up, but it was a reactionary red card. And it put them in a really difficult position with Gwyn already out injured. I think Vuk's probably given it the most sensible solution, but a lot of changes. And to be fair, I understand that Germany were not good enough against Sweden. They weren't particularly great in the groups either. So a reaction is needed. And I think Christian Vuk has shown that with this starting 11. Changing the system, changing the personnel, spot on for me. It's exactly what they need to do. Their biggest threat has been in transition. By dropping into a 5-back or /3-back, it's just going to give them a little bit more solidity. An extra defender in there in Hendrik, who is quicker as well than Minga and Knack, I think could be absolutely crucial, because the way that they've been caught out, when the opposition turned the ball over, has been way too easy. And France, what have they thrived on this tournament? Winning the ball high at the pitch and coming at you with pace. It's exactly what they did to England. It's exactly what they did to Netherlands. And again, they'll try to do the same tonight to Germany. That won't work though if Germany have made this shape change. And I think that what Christian Vuk is doing is he's making France think, because they were expected to come out tonight and just get the ball wide, find the space in transition and score loads of goals. But Germany showing a little bit of honesty, really, understanding where their weaknesses are and making changes that will hopefully, for Germany's sake, combat that French danger.
Yeah, and not to completely nullify what you've just said, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is still a 4-3-3 today. And it's just Janina Minga in defence midfield and Nusken in the 10. I think a lot of news outlets assuming that it will move to a 5-back, and so I wouldn't be surprised either way. We know that Christian Vuk likes a lot of dynamism with his formations. Either way today, even if it is the 4-3-3, I wouldn't be surprised to see it be more of a midfield 3 rather than a pivot of 2 and then an attacking midfielder. And we see perhaps Minga dropping between the centre halves. So that could be something that we see today, which gives them a little bit more solidity and rest defence, allows those fullbacks a little bit more licence to get forwards and support the attack, and then still offers you that midfield too. I don't think we've seen much from Linda Dorman, so take that player out of attacking midfield, give the fullbacks or the wingbacks a little bit more licence to get forwards and offer more attacking threat on those in the wide areas, allow the inside forwards or the wingers to drive inside, and then just dropping, rather than having the attack midfielder, you take her outside, you bring in someone who's good players, that defence midfielder, centre-back hybrid type role, and then you create your three back in that way. I think it makes much more sense. What we've seen is them get caught out in transition, because it works if one fullback goes and one stays. But if they both go, you leave yourself very exposed. I think that's what we're seeing from Germany at this tournament so far. Players making out from the tunnel. Anything to add?
Well, I was finally going to touch on Hoffman. Hoffman
Yes.
for Schüller is a big change. Top goal scorer in qualifying. Already has 2 goals to her name this tournament. But Christian Berg opting to go for Hoffman tonight. It's an interesting decision. Well, I think the best way I can put it is that it's an opportunity for Hoffman to come in tonight. I think a little bit more of a physical striker than Schüller, a bit more combative. And instead of looking to go in behind to Schüller tonight, Germany are going to try and play hold up, get the ball into Hoffman, and then get her to lay it into, either lay it into Nusk and go, directly backwards, or look to take it on the turn, find Clara Buell out wide, find Yulia Brand out wide, and bring those players into the game. Again, it's a tactical decision, and from that point of view, if they want to play direct, I think Hoffman's a good shout. Schüller is an incredible number 9, but she likes to play on the shoulder. You're not going to get brilliant hold-up play from Lea Schüller, and up against Lackluster and Bock, I think she would have struggled to track the ball. Hoffman, a little bit taller, a little bit more physical. I think gives you some better elements if you are going to try and hold that ball up in the final third.
Well, I think Hoffman's inclusion gives away a lot of what Germany are going to look to do tonight. Without Duhlmann in there, it suggests they won't have an attacking midfielder. And so they're going to replace that creative presence with the striker who will drop a little bit deeper. And obviously, with the fullbacks potentially getting higher, it's going to give those wingers more license to drive inside. So I think the game plan will be today to get Buell and Brand in behind in more central areas and have Hoffman as more of that false 9 type role. So it's going to be really interesting to see whether that works out. I think this is a game where Germany could have really stung France with their transitional threat. They still will look to be a transitional threat. I think it's just going to come from a different place now. So it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how Germany look in this shape. They've got a tough test in their hands. France have done very well at this tournament so far. What we have seen from France is a defensive leakiness. England weren't good enough in their attack across that France game. They still scored a goal. Wales have not looked good in attack at all this tournament. They still scored a goal. And Netherlands haven't looked good at all this tournament. And they still scored 2. So we've seen a bit of a leakiness. And we've seen Germany just look a little bit poor in front of goal. But this is where sort of the rock meets the hard place. Yeah. Either France are going to solidify or Germany are going to start finding gold.
Yeah, 100%. I think France's main problem has been starting slow. They can obviously, the first 15 minutes against England, they were second best, and England did score in that time, but it got disallowed. Against Wales, yes, they got that early goal for a corner, but then they conceded a meet pretty soon after that, and they didn't look brilliant. Again, they looked a little bit vulnerable. And against Netherlands, they went, yes, they scored the opener, but they went 2-1 down. France are very vulnerable, A, immediately after conceding, and B, starting slow from the off. If they're not sharp, and look at Germany, they scored 5 minutes into the Sweden game. If France don't get going from minute 1, then Germany can sting them. But if France are up to scratch, and I think the biggest threat as well is that midfield battle. Germany, across the board in this tournament, have been overran in the middle of the park. Even in the Poland game, I thought they struggled Nuskren and Sens struggled to get onto the ball. Denmark, a little bit different because Denmark didn't really want to have the ball.
Could that be the thinking with Minga in there?
Potentially so, and maybe that will make the difference because France, that midfield 3 of Jean-Francois Goyot and Karchaoui has been absolutely superb. And I know they've rotated a lot of players here and there, but that midfield 3 started the England game and they completely ran the show. Yeah. Jean-Francois just sitting in there as a bit more of a protector and allowing Goyot and Karchaoui to run the show, to orchestrate the ball moving forwards. And I thought the job that Karchaoui did on England's pivot player, and then the job that Aslani did on the German pivot, Karchaoui is going to look to do the same thing tonight. Get onto that German pivot and stop them receiving the ball. As you say, bringing in Minga could prevent that from happening and could give Germany another option. And again, that will make Bonneday think as to how he adapts to that. But France's principles are set up to beat the Germany that we saw in the group stage. And if Germany don't change, then France will win this football match. But a lot of signs look to show that Germany have made tweaks. And that is going to make a very interesting game because now France, they're going to have to adjust how they're trying to play. Well, not just how they don't.
If what Germany are doing works.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out because I think, based on how both sides have played at the tournament, France are big favourites to win this game. But if Germany's tweaks do pay off, then it could become a really close match.
Lovely stuff. That does leave us with not a lot of time for predictions, so let's get into it. If you're watching along, get involved in the live chat. Give us your prediction ahead of kickoff. We'll get started here in the studio, though, with yourself, Harry. What is your prediction for France versus Germany?
I think that even though Germany have made changes tonight and they will look to play a little bit differently, I can't look past France. I think they've been absolutely brilliant at this tournament so far. I will say France 3, Germany 1. I think it'll be very similar to the Sweden game. Germany will start fast and get an early goal through Eula Brand, picking up her 3rd goal of the tournament. But I think France will just get better and better and better from there and look to catch Germany out. It will be a goal from Cascarino in the first half to level it up at 1-1. We'll go into the break 1 apiece, and then I think it will be goals from Katoto and I will say Karchaoui in the second half to send France through to the semis.
Fair enough. I like it. I'm going to say France 2, Germany 2, and I'm going to say Germany to win on penalties.
Ooh.
I think if it goes to penalties tonight, the favour swings. France are the strongest side out on the field from what we've seen at this tournament so far, but if it goes to penalty kicks, Ann-Katrin Berger makes a difference for me. Yeah. Absolutely makes a difference for me. So I think that will be the decisive factor. I think Germany will be able to give France a better game than they've given anyone so far this tournament. I think there is a fragility and a vulnerability to France that we've not seen exposed yet by the teams they've faced in the group stage. England weren't on it, and Netherlands and Wales don't have any quality at the moment. So, yeah, they've not been tested truly yet because England weren't on it. This will be a good test. Germany have got to up their level. I think they will. Both sets of players ready to take to the field. Germany will get us underway. Giovanna Hoffmann from the middle, waiting for the referee's whistle. And the referee giving us suspense. Hoffmann knocks it back and we're underway. It's our final quarter-final matchup. France versus Germany. The winner will face Spain in the semi-finals. And it's Germany who start with possession. Brand playing it forwards. Trying to slide the pass through there. Sjokonusken doesn't quite come off. Strong in the challenge there. From Sense trying to force Germany high up the field here. And that is Hoffmann with a bit of a rogue tackle to try and catch Batcher out. And a very combative game already. Batcher against Hoffmann. Hoffmann too aggressive in how she's flung her to the floor there. So that will be a France free kick.
Yeah, Hoffmann gave away a free kick and had come back from an offside position anyway. But again, already showing how Hoffmann wants to get involved tonight, wants to be combative. Did put in a late challenge a moment ago. And then has just bundled Batcher to the floor. But again, that's what Germany need to do. Start positively, start hard, be aggressive, and assert themselves onto France and put this French backline under some pressure.
Yeah, definitely. A few predictions in the live chat. John Khalifa going at 3-2 France. Paul says France will win because Berger's a weak spot. Very different to my prediction, where I think Berger will be the hero. I
think Berg's had a really weird tournament. I thought against Poland, she kept Germany in the game. She made some brilliant saves. Denmark was a little hit and miss. Sweden was a shocker. She really struggled. So I agree and I disagree. I think it depends what version of Ann-Katrin Berger turns up tonight. If we get the world class Berger, then France will find it difficult to beat her. But we'll have to wait and see what happens.
By now, looking for Eula Brand, cuts out well by Lacra. Jean-Francois to Mbok. Pass forwards, Nusken chasing it down. Dialmeida back to Mbok.
I have to say, one player I have been a little bit disappointed with this tournament is Clara Buell. And I think she's played well, but the end product has been really lacking. While you've got Brand who's picked up 4 contributions in 3 games, you had Shula who's picked up 2 goals in 3 games. I've looked at Clara Buell and we just haven't seen the same kind of output, and I think she's looked sharp. But in terms of that end product, correct me, I might be wrong, she might, but I just think overall, I don't feel like she's delivered the same value as the rest of her attacking counterparts.
She hasn't provided a contribution yet at this tournament, which, for all her quality, I think has always been a bit of a criticism of Clara Buell. 2 goals, 3 assists only in the Champions League last campaign. So, yeah, definitely a criticism you can lobby at her.
So it definitely is a 4 for Germany today. Still the 4-2-3-1, and Minga is just sitting in that pivot.
Dropping in, though.
That is true, yeah.
In possession. So it's a little bit more defensive, and rather than having an attacking midfielder like Dorman just playing off with a striker, it's more of a midfield with a single pivot and then 2 more central midfielders. So, yeah, definitely interesting to see that slight difference. Here's a name that's going to roll back the ears for you a little, Harry. AFCB, Fan TV, welcome to the show. That's a name I've not heard in a while. Hope you're keeping well. It'll be France to get to take this through. And asks, is Karchaoui in the lineup? Yes, she starts middle midfield. Katoto Tries to find Karchawi, brought down in there, too aggressive from Yanina Minga. And Linda down as well, everyone in the wars there. And I think both sets of players may need some treatment here. Karchawi, I think, may be okay. Linda in a little more discomfort, and Germany's woes at right back seem to continue.
Yeah, well, trying to see what happened here.
Again,
she's gone in and she's actually been tricked up by her own player, I think.
I think it was Eula Brand.
Yeah.
Recovering back.
Yeah, Brand just comes in and stands on her. Take Germany, that right back position is cursed at this point. So Linda down with an issue. Germany have clearly, with the personnel selection, the likes of Hoffmann and putting Nusken higher, and the way they've played in the first couple of minutes, they've gone very aggressive. They're looking to be assertive, but to be honest, they've gone a bit too aggressive, I think. In the first couple of minutes, they've just been lumping into people, giving away 3 kicks, and injuring themselves.
But have France got into their rhythm yet?
They haven't.
And that is ultimately what Germany are looking to do today.
That is true.
That rhythm, then look to play their football a little bit later.
But if Linda is now injured because of it, then it has backfired a little bit.
Yeah.
Although the magic sponge is out and she's back to her feet and all good to play.
Nazza, welcome to the stream. Natalie, good to see you. Johanna says there has to be some sort of anti-right back spell on this team.
Yeah.
Seemingly so. It's been a bit of misfortune. Linda okay to continue, seemingly though. Ket heading it away. Now Nusken. Germany will look to break. Ball through the lines, looking for Hoffmann. And that is quality from Mbok. The interception stops the attack in its tracks. And now France can counter. Batcher out wide. Lovely combination between Cascarino and Karchawi. One back in there. And then immediately given away. Hendrick strong in the tackle. Knocks it out of play.
Cascarino, I've been mightily impressed with this tournament. I think that when people look at the France team, everyone talks about Baltimore, Diani, Katoto, all these players that are still, dominating at the very top of the European game and playing, and the big names. But I think a lot of people have slept a little bit on Delphine Cascarino, and she's kind of turned up this tournament and just reminded everyone that, how good she still is. Was, brilliant in the England game, picked up a, contribution. We obviously scored a double against Netherlands.
I feel that's the case with everyone who goes to the NWSL.
Yeah.
Because of how Eurocentric at least our coverage is and how we view the game, we don't really see much of her. The same with Esther Gonzalez. Linda's still off, by the way. I hadn't even noticed. Returned to the fray.
But they're opting to strap her foot up, and she is going to play through the pain rather than bringing on another player at right back.
She looked to be in quite some discomfort. So Germany have just settled into a 4-4-1 to try and see out the next few minutes, and that one played well by Anne-Katrine Berger. Eula Brand's playing right back, by the way.
Yeah, it's not a nice one, but with the position they're in, yes, they could bring Kleinhorn into right back, but I can understand Vuk's reluctance to bring in a player who hasn't got on the pitch yet this tournament. Yeah. Or, had very few minutes in the last, kind of 6 months for the national team.
And I know Hendrick was suggested, but I think her mobility tonight against Cascarino is just asking for trouble.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to do what they've done, but yeah, I mean, they'll be really worried if this is not something that Linda can play through, because they don't really have great options to come on and replace her. So, this could be problematic, very problematic. Ball in behind, looking for the run of Clara Pure. That is phenomenal from Lacra. And I praise heavily on box interception a moment ago, but Lacra's one-upped it with that one. Takes it out the air, falls to Ket, though. Tries to squeeze a pass through to Clara Buell. Looked to be on the edge of a foul there from Diarmida, but she's got away with it. Diani comes inside. A bit of a lunge from Elisa Sens. Doesn't come off. Now Cascarino. Options inside. Plays it to Gayoro looking for Diani. One back in there by Minga and cleared away emphatically by Nuska. Now Hoffmann feeding on scraps. Gets round in Bok. Perhaps the rustiness there not helping her out, but Selma Batcher bails her out. Great recovery defending. And France there winning the free kick, Hoffmann bringing Batcher down.
That's the second time that Hoffmann has taken Batcher's shoe off in this game. We are 7 minutes in. So much not got any boots left at this point. But this game is lively.
I've loved it so far. It's a very physical, combative game. Sounds like the strain says, to both you good fellows, what was your predicted score for this game? Love the proper English there. I went 2-2 with Germany to win on penalties and Katrine Berger to be the hero.
I said 3-1 France.
That's because I remember your own prediction better than you there.
But Linda is still off getting her foot taped up. It's incredibly heavy taping. That is really awkward to play with. And she does not look comfortable whatsoever. I understand that you don't want to put on an inexperienced player in this kind of game, but if Linda's not fully fit, then that is a big risk to put her on.
Hannah's a suggestion. Could Sarah Brits come in and play as a right back? Definitely could.
I think bringing anyone
Brand plays over the top. Here come Germany. Buell breaking down the left-hand side. France have got numbers back here. But could Clara Buell make something happen? Lacroix deals with it. Shot from Eula Brand. Not sure how much she intended that one, but she just sort of ran into the ball. But yeah, Clara Buell once again just lacking that end product. It's difficult because she has to go alone here. She doesn't really have any support. But yeah, Lacroix stands her up well. And Brand firing one wide.
Yeah.
Yeah, just doesn't catch that at all. Well,
it was more Jean-Francois kick the ball into Brand.
It was more of a clearance, so they don't have to defend the transition. And I don't know if Cascarino's capped that on. If she has. Incredible from Delphine Cascarino. I think the ball was on the pitch and she left it.
Yeah, maybe.
Jean-Francois wins it back now. Diane Maida out to the right-hand side. Diani tries to take it past Ket. Can't keep the ball in play.
This is exactly what we want to see. Two quality sides with brilliant players on the pitch just going for the game. It's really end-to-end. It's great stuff. Linda is finally back onto the pitch. After a good few moments there, Germany are back to their full complement.
Yeah.
But that is risky, keeping Linda on with that much strapping on her right foot, sorry.
But at least Germany finally have 11 players. It's been 5 minutes since they had 11.
But if Linda's only at 70-80%, Delphine Cascarino, her ears are going to prick right up.
That's the second late barge that Sakina Karchawi's been on the end of. And she seems to be feeling that discomfort.
Germany going to pick up cards tonight. No question about it. That is, their third, fourth foul of the game already?
Yeah. Selma Batcher over this free kick then. Can France make something happen? Batcher. Looking to deliver. Not a bad ball. Flick goalward. Spike at Toto, but not towards the target.
Yeah. Should have done better with that one. Actually fell to her in a lot of space around her. There was a bit of a challenge, to be fair, in the end from Niskan.
Yeah, put her off, I think, a little.
Yeah, just didn't catch that one right at all.
And Natalie says, lots of observers predicting a French win, but how do you think the German team will feel about their chances? Got to feel confident, hopeful. I think, Germany as a nation, still a very strong team. If their performances at this tournament haven't been good enough, but they're still a very strong team. Still, full of quality players. They've got to believe they can win this game. And the way they've set up, the fact they're doing something different today, definitely points towards the fact that they believe they can get something out of it. Checking a France penalty here, which wouldn't be the first time that Tessa Olofsson has given a
potential red card.
Interesting decision. Potential red card check against Hendrick. Not sure what this could be. Hendrick.
Oh, she pulls unboxed hair.
Oh, what is... Well, that is just stupid.
That's a red card. Yeah.
What is she even thinking?
What on earth is she doing? Hendrick there just grabs a clump of unboxed hair and pulls her straight back.
11 minutes into a crucial quarter-final and you're doing that?
That's a red card. No doubt about it. And the French penalty to go with it. What a silly, silly thing to do. And Germany's discipline is going to let them down once again.
Stonewall penalty, Stonewall red card. Unbelievable. The ball's nowhere near her. You can't even argue that she's not going to get to the ball because it's just quite clearly a foul. Tessa Olofsson points to the spot, and I would be surprised if that's not the red, and it is. What an absolute mess. Hendrick can't believe it, but that is just stupidity. There is nothing to defend that action. 12 minutes into such an important game. And that, you have to feel, has crushed any chance of a Germany win.
Yeah.
What a stupid, stupid decision.
That is a bizarre thing to do. And she seems shocked by it. Christian Vuk's furious, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day.
I'm furious, but not on the refs.
It's violent conduct. It doesn't matter what she's done. Doesn't matter whether Mbok... And that's the thing. Spot on. And the frustration is Mbok was never going to get to the ball. But it's violent conduct, as simple as that. And that is that is an immature and a very amateur mistake to make in this kind of game. You've been brought in to this kind of action. I mean, now she's going to walk away off the pitch by mouthing off to the fourth official to make it even better. What a silly, silly error that is. And it is advantage France. I mean, she is furious, but I don't know who she's furious at.
It should be herself.
Yeah,
what
100%.
is she doing? There's just absolutely no reason to do that. And now Grace Gayoro from 12 yards up against Anne-Catherine Berger. The one goalkeeper you probably don't want to be up against in a moment like this has been a shockingly high. 52% of penalties this tournament have been missed. Will that trend continue? Well, we're about to find out. Anne-Catherine Berger tasked with saving it. Gayoro, the one aiming to dispatch of it. Tessa Olofsson checking that literally everybody is outside the penalty area. One by one. Gayoro made to wait. Now she'll have her chance to step up. Referee blows a whistle. Gayoro from 12 yards steps up. And it's saved initially by Berger, but it bounces over the line. And that is an important goal for France. 13 minutes on the clock. And it's France 1, Germany 0. And there's already a French bundle in the corner. They're delighted with this start to the game because they haven't even had to create a chance. And they lead in this match. France 1, Germany 0. Germany in a huddle.
Yeah. France in pole position now and in the driving seat to just see this out, and Germany only have themselves to blame. Cannot understand and comprehend what was going through the mind of Hendrik.
I feel for every player on that pitch for Germany because they have remained solid for 10 minutes and the whole game plan out of the because of a really stupid decision. And Berger's really unlucky not to save this, actually. She gets a glove to it, but it's struck with such venom that it just brushes off the glove and goes in, and Christian Fuchs now got a yellow card.
Yeah. Germany have completely lost it.
This game's lost. Absolutely lost. Germany have lost their heads. They're down a player. They were already up against it today. Wow. France have got to think that they've found a lucky star, because what fortune really they've come up against Germany in this mood.
Yeah. I'll say we looked this quarter final when you piece the tournament together. We knew that Germany would end up meeting either England or France, and we knew that whoever they drew would probably be the best quarter final. But what a way!
And then the equivalent of either Sweden against England or France, as that proved the other evening.
What a way to ruin this football match!
Yes, the biggest travesty from a neutral perspective. Because
Germany can't go for it because France will just run riot.
Darren Players wants the strings. Says, Guy, do you reply? Yes, we just don't talk about gambling or give any advice on here. Karchawi across to Mbok. Pass inside to Jean-Francois. Germany just up against it now. They're chasing shadows already. It's hard enough if you go down a player after 60, 70 minutes, you've just got to survive for the last 20. But to go a player down after just 13 minutes or 12 minutes, it's just, how do you come back from that? You just don't. That's the problem.
Yeah. At the end of the day, if it was a deliberate handball to deny a goal, or whether it was a last man tackle that tactical foul that got you sent off, then fair enough. But to get sent off for pulling someone's hair is such an idiotic thing to do in this kind of game.
So obviously, and for so long. It's a little grab, maybe you get away with it, but what is she doing? Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
And again, a red card is going to cost Germany the game. Their discipline this tournament has been absolutely horrendous.
But both absolutely stupid decisions.
Yeah. I have no idea what she's thinking. And I think Christian Fuchs' yellow card and his frustration towards the refs is probably more he's just letting his frustration out.
Guided, yeah. Don't want to shout your own player, but that is ultimately who deserves the
100%. He didn't speak to Hendrik.
Undressing.
He didn't even address her. And understandably so, because why would you? But that is, especially when you come into the game. If you've been called up to a tournament and you've sat on the bench for the whole of the group stage, you finally get your opportunity to start in the quarter final, to start against France. A yellow card has been waved at Diani now. I don't know.
She caught, I think there was frustration after the foul.
All right.
Her and Sense came together. She caught Sense in the face. Sense called for a foul. Diani and Sense then with a little bit of a disagreement. I'm guessing Diani has made some comments to the referee.
And there's another one coming out here.
I think she's just marking the yellow card there. But the problem is Diani's kept arguing there. So, all of a sudden, if she's going by the book, definitely could have got her gone there. Here's Diani. Looking to have run a Batcher. I mean, that is the only way this game goes back to being incredible. Diani goes and gets a second yellow.
Germany's best bet now is to just wind France up and cause something to happen.
That's a soft foul. Brand with the slightest version.
Oh yeah, she tripped herself out. She Batcher tripped over herself.
That's comical.
Genuinely just taking her own feet out. So, Germany readying a change.
Understandably, that is Kleinharner, I believe.
Well, they tried their best to not involve her. They've made Linda play through injury, and Hendrick has gone and ruined that plan. So it is going to see Linda come off. That makes sense. If she's injured, there's no point risking her now.
I imagine Yanina Minga will go back into the back four, and they will play 4-4-1.
Yeah, and just hope for the best.
And there goes any semblance of a game plan, any idea of trying to take the game to France this evening.
Yeah. Their best hope now is to just sit deep, try and hold it at 1-0, and then get a goal on the break at some point tonight.
Batcher. Ball in. Cleared away. Also, the hair pull is violent, but a backswing is fine. But the problem with the hair pull is it's so abundantly, obviously a foul. Like that you could accidentally elbow someone, you could accidentally, I don't know. There's loads of things you can accidentally do. You can't accidentally pull someone's hair for a few seconds. It's just not possible. So it's, just such a stupid one. There's absolutely no excuse for it.
Yeah.
Diani. Sense. Ball forward from Kleinharner. France is able to press Germany so aggressively now. Here's Diani. Ball in towards Katoto. Header on target. A tame one though, and Berger. The easiest save she will have all evening.
Yeah. Brilliant. This from Diani. Goes one way, goes the other. Shifts it onto her right, gets the ball in. I tell you what, Katoto does well to get that on target. Running backwards, needed to try and generate the pace herself, but couldn't really manage it.
First, that's true, but violent conduct seems a bit extreme. Yeah, but that's just how it is. I get it, though, because there's no reason to make an action like that. It's, just grabbing someone. Batcher. Now, if it's a shirt or something, there's slightly more understanding. Which I guess you could say it's sort of the equivalent of, but a shirt doesn't hurt as much.
No.
But we're seeing it given loads. Every player knows that's the rules. You can't grab players by their hair, obviously.
Because really, you can do it to any player. You could pull a player with short hair, you could pull them back by their hair, and it'd still be a red card. Yeah. Obviously, Peter will do it with the long-haired players because
I think it happened to Mark Cucurella. The only player it's not been given against is Mark Cucurella. I remember against United, Lissandro Martinez grabbed his hair. That I think was the catalyst for it becoming a violent conduct.
And then Christian Romero did it to him and got sent off, and more recently, João Neves did it to him in the Club World Cup final and got sent off.
Yeah, he's just a magnet for it.
It is starting. I mean, it's weird. Yeah,
it's less prominent in the women's game because there's more players with long hair, so everyone would then just get sent off, so no one does it.
Yeah.
But two, that just is ridiculous from Hendrick.
Yeah.
It just looks ridiculous. What else could you possibly be trying to achieve? But yeah. Here's Diani, can't quite get that under control.
But it's also, the reason it's also classed as violent conduct is just because it's also technically pulling someone back by their head. And if you were to do that, then that would be a red card.
I'd love to see someone try that, though. Grabbing someone's head, just only with one hand, try and grab their head back.
Exactly. If you pulled someone back with their head or got your arm round them and threw them, pulled them back, then that is a red card.
For obvious reasons, you can't grab people by their hair.
No.
And put them down the penalty area. And as Ansi and Natalie say, if you've had long hair and had it pulled, it's basically a neck injury waiting to happen. Yeah, I'm guessing Phil can't relate on that one.
No.
Neither can we, really.
Oh, I can, obviously, all the time.
All the time.
Really hurt the neck.
But yeah.
But no, France are loving life.
Obviously.
We're halfway through the first half, which has flown by. They're 1-0 up. They've got an extra player, and to be honest, they've got a foot in the semi-finals.
Yeah, they're there. I just can't see any way that Germany turn this around. I really can't. It's absolutely killed the game.
Mm. But to pick up 2 red cards in 4 games at this Euros is not good enough.
There's only been like 3 other red cards.
You cannot do that.
Unbelievable.
No,
Tiani looking to come inside. That one away with effort and out for a Germany goal kick.
The foul numbers are totting, and that's the thing. It's not the reason I criticise the discipline is because it wasn't in the red card tonight. Just consistently over the course of the last 24 minutes, they have just battered and bruised France.
6 fouls already. Admittedly, one was someone Batched tripping over her own feet.
That is true. I felt like there's been more than 6.
6 given.
I mean, Hoffman has taken Batch's shoes off twice.
That's true. Ball in behind, looking now for Giovanna Hoffman. She's going to win this foot race against Mbok. And Mbok, though, recovers well, knocks out of play. Germany corner. And Hoffman will get the Germany fans going now.
That's their best chance tonight, Germany, is on that counter, if they can catch France out. I mean, this feels like the equivalent of France-Wales.
Hoffman's done really well there, but is that not what you want there, Schuler?
Maybe, but was she...
Like the wrong way around. I'd rather had Hoffman in those games where they weren't able to hold.
Maybe.
Where they weren't able to break teams down against those low blocks. Now, it's the type of game you want Lea Schuler running in behind.
Mm.
Ball in, flicked on, goal for Germany! Sjokonusken heads home, brilliant flick! And that's France 1, Germany 1, and we're level. Just when we thought the game was dead, Germany spun it on its head, on off the head of Sjokonusken.
Once again, stepping up for a nation when they need her most, was the catalyst in the win against Denmark, and has just got her side back into this game. And that's all it takes is one counter-attack. They win a corner from it. Nusken peels off.
Movement.
What a header that is. That is a phenomenal header from Sjokonusken.
The technique, the accuracy, and she just lets... the ball's got enough power on it. She doesn't need to generate more. She just directs the ball into the goal. It's such a good glancing header.
Ooh.
And Christian Vuk is playing his... I don't know what he's trying to do there, but he's going to end up with a second yellow if he keeps up like that. But very animated
I say.
In his celebration.
There were a few words in here on the French bench after that penalty, and I think he might have gave them a little bit of an answer there with that celebration.
Yeah.
This game is really sparking into life, but Sjokonusken, it's not only the actual header, but it's the movement. I can't stress how difficult it is to make the run. So make the run backwards, start ahead of the ball, run back, and then flick it behind you into the goal. Put past the goalkeeper, loops up perfectly, and it's just brilliant.
But it's that movement that gets her the space. That's why it's really smart. Christian Vuk still played in the fourth official. If Christian Vuk doesn't get a second yellow card tonight, I'm incredibly surprised.
It's not about that one. Germany foul throw was then overturned and given to France. Seen a lot. I'm glad that a referee is picking that up, because I think we've seen a lot of dubious throw-ins at this tournament. But that one was definitely a foul throw. Another late tackle from Sens, but France play on.
Katoto, Diani, ball down the line into Karchawi. Thought she may have just drifted into an offside position there. Play will continue. Lovely footwork from Sakina Karchawi, still going. That one, I'm not sure. I'd like to see a replay. Karchawi has convinced the referee.
Very well against England against winning some free kicks. And she's done it again.
Absolute dive. I didn't think there was any contact in that one.
Oh, no.
Okay, fair enough.
She catches the top of the
It's just the comical way she goes down after tackle. I didn't see that brand contact. Fair enough. That is a fair.
But there have been a couple. Karchawi is the master of just making things... You
can play on that.
Yeah.
And she jumps up in the air two legs and, something Tom Daly would have been proud of.
Germany have got to be careful, because they are committing fouls left, right and centre here.
Yes, that's number 7.
There was 8 in the build-up. I think a lot of them have had advantage play.
Ball in, and Cascarino trying to catch Berger out there, playing the effort towards that near post, but Berger did well to react. I think it may have come off Brand as well in there. No, Just a nice curling effort.
Germany's problem is going to be if they do somehow get through tonight, they have no players left for the semi-final.
Yeah, but Phil says Karchawi and Batcher are both terrible for diving. Yeah, that's true. Sal Batcher and equally.
But it's weird because half the time they do actually get caught. We've already seen it tonight. They've both been involved in free fouls. But then there's been one where Batcher tripped herself up and got a free kick, and Karchawi there, although she got caught a little bit, flopped over like she'd just been smashed through the back of.
Yeah.
Again, you can't really. It's frustrating from the opposition, but at the end of the day, fair enough. If it works, it works. I mean, it's not in the merit of fair play and playing an equal game. It's not very good. But at the end of the day, if that's what it takes to get you through to the semi-finals of Euros, then maybe that's what it's going to take.
Depends what matters more to you. Do you want to be a role model or a winner?
Or both.
Well, yeah, of course, winners can be role models.
100%.
Depends though how you win.
Yeah. Ooh.
Sense Nusken lifts the ball forwards, looking for Giovanna Hoffmann. And Batcher knocking it out of play and almost running into Christian Vuk there.
Surprised Christian Vuk didn't stick his leg out, get a second yellow card, and just trip Batcher up for the bans. I mean, he's got it's just everything. Now he's holding a football. He stood outside. He was stood outside of his technical area with a football in his hands. Ready to pelt it at someone. Well,
I think the ref possibly.
So far at this tournament, Gwyn got injured, presented an opportunity to Vamsa, who got sent off. Vamsa got sent off, presented an opportunity to Hendrick to start, who got sent off. Hendrick's red card's now presented an opportunity for Kleinhorn to start.
We're now up to 3 players in the Germany squad who are not able to play the next game.
Yeah.
They're down to 20 if they get to the semi-finals.
Because both were straight red cards.
Gwyn's injured,
I'm not sure what Vamsa's was deliberate handball. I can't remember where that sits. Violent conduct. We won't see Hendrick unless Germany get to the final.
And even then, I don't think she's going to play it again after the stunt she pulled.
You might even get 3 games, to be fair. But she'll definitely get 2.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Deliberate handball. Can't remember if it's 1 or 2.
Sure, it's got to be 2. Reece James got 2 for it.
Yeah, mate, yeah.
Berger sends it forwards. Hoffmann tries to flick it on. Does well. And there is a foul in there on Giovanna Hoffmann.
She's done well there to win the flick on and then while getting smashed into. Not quite sure how she's hurt the front of her head.
Phil says ref has ignored a few late France challenges now. Yeah, it's Tess Olofsson. What do you expect?
I mean, it is crazy, by the way, that out of 4 games, that Tessa Lovson has got 2 French games. I mean, that shouldn't happen, really, to be honest.
Yeah. Completely agree.
Now, you've got so many refs at this tournament. Even if you swapped Martin Cicic on who's the 4th official tonight, even if you put her in and put Lovson as the 4th official.
Right either, though, to be fair.
What? No, she was quite good. She did Italy-Portugal and sent Anna Borges off for that second yellow.
Well, tough decision.
Well, yeah, I know, but she did all right.
I think it was a straight red one, for Anna Borges.
No, double yellow.
Oh, okay. Should have been a straight red.
It could have been, yeah. Hoffmann's back to her feet. Is going to go off, but we'll come back on. Germany down to 9 now. They have missed so many players. Linda was off for the first 5 minutes with an injury. They were down to 10.
There have been 6 minutes where Germany have had 11 players. What a game.
Genuinely. And they're drawing. They're currently drawing to France.
After going behind.
Yeah. To be fair, Phil said at the start of the tournament, France find a way.
Of throwing it away.
Yeah.
Eula Brand, don't know what she's trying to take on Diani there. And France will come forward. Karchawi just tries to do a little too much in there. Now Diani, though, has managed to make it work. Diani skips past Kleinhardt, drives inside. Kleinhardt and Brand just chasing in circles there, but it has come off. Hoffmann. Offside call in there anyway on Diani.
I'm trying to think exactly. Was this what? We have seen quite a few red cards at this tournament. Obviously, Germany have now had Hendrick and Vamsa. We had Anna Borges. We had Brynjar's daughter in match week 1. We had last night Noah Moritz saw red. That's 5. Have we had another one? Can't think now. I feel like we have.
Have you counted Vamsa and Hendrick?
Yeah, I've got 5.
I think that might be it.
Yeah, maybe.
Ball in, headed away. Wales haven't had a red, have they?
No.
Try to poke a ball forwards there. It's another foul on Hoffman. Thing is, these are accumulating now between Lacron and Bok, but they're not going to get a yellow for them.
But they're also trading turns to commit the fouls.
Yeah, so it's just going to catch the ref out.
Yeah.
But it's mainly been in Bok, I have to say, pretty much every time.
That's a yellow card.
Yeah.
She's pulled Hoffman back and stopped her playing the ball.
And that isn't the first time in Bok has fouled Hoffman. That is the third or fourth now. I feel like yellow cards this tournament have been a real problem. There's none until the 70th minute, and then refs just start handing them out for every contact.
Yeah. I mean, tonight, obviously, we've had, well, to be fair, Tessa Lawson's the outlier in that. We're 33 minutes in, we've had a red card, we had Diani booked, and we've had Christian booked.
Yeah, but very few for France.
Well, they've had one.
Yeah.
Germany haven't actually got a yellow on the pitch.
That's true.
So, you know.
They're all on the sidelines. Coda says, VAR, how can you think you can get away with that? Such a stupid move. I don't know. Genuinely, I can't rationalise how she was thinking in that moment.
I think, again, it's an instinctive reaction. She's realising Bot's getting away from her and it's just gone, I need to pull her back, and she just grabbed the nearest thing to her. But you shouldn't do that. That's no excuse to do it.
No. I mean, there's just no walk of life could get away with that.
No.
If you annoy me on stream, I don't grab you by the hair. I think there's an employment law against that. Throwing on this near side from Batcher. Jean-Francois Batcher.
To be fair, I think Germany will be pretty happy with what their position they're in. They've stopped France getting into a rhythm. Then, I think that midfield battle, Germany are competing in just because they keep smashing into the French midfielders.
Yeah, I think we've seen Karchawi a little wider tonight. We've not seen Gayoro on the ball at all, really.
No.
So huge credit to what Germany have done in there, especially considering they've been down to 10 now for most of the game. Clara Bill running out of road. Goes back to Ket. Knack. And she'll launch one up the line. The other thing is Germany haven't tried to play out tonight and then get caught in the France press because they've not had 10 players on the pitch for more than 7 minutes. So
now a France free kick. Apparently
dubious.
Yeah, Ket committing a foul there. I'd like to see that one again. Again, it's just, I feel like refs have also been reluctant to just allow 50-50s to be 50-50s. They've felt like they've had to make a decision on all of them. And that, you don't have to do that in football. Just let the game run.
Lacra. Out wide now to Selma Batcher. Pass both forwards. Diani. Out wide into Karchawi. Just to carry up the line. That one was a bit of a grab from Eula Brand, and that will be a France free kick. And, well, Klein Hahn will be lucky if she gets away with that without a yellow card here. We're kicking the ball away.
Did think that. I mean, but they're
Karchawi's grabbed her as well. This is why Karchawi's so good at winning free kicks, because she's got as much, if not more, of Brand's shirt than Brand has of Karchawi's.
And
Karchawi starts grabbing first.
Yeah. I think they're both jostling for the ball. They're both grabbing each other's shirts. Just let it play.
Yeah, Selma Batcher over this then. Generally realising they can't really have two players in the wall when they've got one on the bench.
Yeah.
Batcher. Looks to deliver it, and that is headed away, bounced around in there. Gayoro couldn't trap it, and now France in possession. Dialmeida knocks out to the right-hand side. Delivery in towards the back post. Diani knocking it down, and Knack then hoofing it clear. Straight to Laurent Bonnaday.
This is the kind of game that could get really tasty. I think the longer it stays 1-1, whether it's on the pitch or on the touchline, this is the kind of game that could really explode. Which, from a neutral point of view, in a quarter-final, it's exactly what you want to see. Although it may mean that no one has any players to play against Spain.
Shock. Here come France and Bok. I think they've swapped in Bok and Lacra, by the way. It's interesting. Diani wants to come down this left-hand side. Eula Brand will get there, accidentally knocking it out for a corner. So what can France do with this now? No, it was a throw. Kachiawi. And Sense gets there and wins her side of throw.
Well battled from Sense in there to win the throw.
Here is Kleinhan. Flipped on by Brand. Francois. Batcher. Lost in there by Katoto. Not had a play. Yanina Menga. If Germany spent less time moaning every time they kicked the ball up that it was their ball,
Yeah.
they'd be all right. But they just keep getting caught out of position because they're spending time doing that. It's what I didn't like about Barcelona in the Champions League final. It's why I think they ultimately lost it. They focused too much on screaming to the referee and getting annoyed at the fact Arsenal were being physical rather than just playing football.
But even see it tonight, Christian Vuk, once he's calmed down, made the change and just,
Ball slid through, looking for the run of Cascarino. Lovely link-up play. Gaioro to Cascarino. Beautiful football from France, but the offside flag is up. So that may not be able to stand. That is such a shame. That should be given a pass of being the most beautiful combination player I've seen all time. Into Cascarino.
Brilliant.
Flick to Katoto. Gaioro to Cascarino, and she is offside. Deft touch into the back of the net. Such a shame that won't stand, because what a lovely bit of play from France.
Genuinely incredible goal. It's the right decision, and you can't complain. But what a move that was.
You can't complain. Get her in the offside. Things like that.
Beautiful football. VAR looking at it, she's offside. No. Let's give a very quick check. Yeah, exactly.
There we go. Delphine Cascarino, unfortunately, in an offside position there, receiving the ball to score.
One of the best goals of the tournament.
Yeah, people will say, oh, look at all the screamers. That I'd much prefer. That's football. Jean-Francois. Yeah, you love your screamers.
Oh, I love both.
Okay. Hoffman. Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I hate screamers. Oh, I'm kind of miserable person. I hate it.
Rubbish.
It's a brilliant goal. But...
They show you shoot from inside 10 yards. But tell you what, credit to Germany. They have settled down pretty well and have worked their way back into the game. They're having to sit deep, they're having to defend well, but they are surviving. They're level and they're digging in.
Kleinhan.
Which, and to be fair, I discredited, I criticised them, that's the word to use, criticised them on the fact that how, lazy and how poor it was of a showing against Sweden, because they didn't dig in then, they showed no fight, showed no courage. Tonight, they've dug in really well.
Arguably too much fight.
Maybe, yeah.
Especially Hendrick.
Yes.
Literally wanted a fight. Here's Salvatore with the throw. That's a foul throw. Players to embark. Back to Batcher. Peru Magni. Out down to the right hand side. It's Di Almeida. Oh, you're right. Turns, looking to carry the ball forwards. Out now to the right hand side. Di Almeida.
I have to say, Gaiora hasn't gotten the ball much tonight, but when she has, things have happened. She scored the penalty, and she made the run and got the assist for the disallowed Cascarino goal.
Here's Salma Batcher carrying it forwards, cut out by Eula Brand.
No way.
How is that a France free kick?
Absolutely no way.
At this point, Batcher could just run down the left hand side, jump in the air, with no one around them.
Batcher stops. Brand keeps on running. They tangle legs. That is not a French free kick.
Batcher's looking for it the whole way.
Yeah.
You can see what she's trying to do there.
That's called physics. If someone stops moving and the other one doesn't, they're going to run into each other.
Yeah.
And I said no way as soon as she went down because I knew it was going to get given.
Yeah. It's like if two cars are driving, one in front of the other. The one in front stops. It's not the one behind's fault if it runs into it. Batcher. Ball floated in there and it's clutched well in the gloves of Ann-Katrin Berger.
It's always risky and nervy when a goalkeeper chooses to claim the ball behind the on-rushing player, because a bot could have easily got in front of Berger there and just headed it into an empty net.
It's also the sign of a very experienced goalkeeper who understood the flight of the ball well.
That is true.
Saw that Mbok physically couldn't have got there, as proven, did well. Obviously, if she misjudges that, then yes, it's 1-0 France, or 2-1 France, but well judged by Berger. De Almeida, great ball in, headed away by Yanina Mingega, drops onto the edge for Gayoro. Ball slid through the lines, Cascarino skips past one, looks to cut it back. Does really well, Cascarino, but it's unlucky. It doesn't fall to anyone now. De Almeida. Is it any coincidence that we didn't see Gayoro in the first few minutes? First 10, 20 minutes, she's really come to life, and France have suddenly kicked into gear.
Yeah.
Batcher. Kachawi. I think enjoying the fact that Germany only have 2 central midfielders now. Jean-Francois back towards Batcher, one back by Nusken. Batcher, not sure what ball she's playing there. Now Jean-Francois lifts out to the left-hand side, over hit pass. Don't know how Batcher gets away with it, I have to say.
Again, France kicking into gear, and it's the same players getting involved. Batcher, Karchawi, Gayoro, Cascarino, all getting on the ball, all getting involved.
Knack. A little... She hasn't made any contact with Cascarino there, but it's the way that she's gone in. If she did make any contact, it's another penalty.
Yeah. But yeah, France again, same individuals, same players stepping up and combining really nicely. I do feel that again, I have a few questions for the likes of. Oh wow,
it was tighter than I thought I have to say on the Cascarino one.
So I wasn't considering how far ahead of the ball was she was. I just looked at the players. I didn't think about So that's another harsh one.
No, to be fair, the ball was with Gayora. It's quite visually offside, but it's one of those where it doesn't make any difference whether she is there or there. No. So, yeah, that's the problem with the offside rule. Because the players are in line. It's just the fact the ball's got to be ahead of the other player. Applying rugby rules. Only in the final third. Ball forwards from Knack. Looking for Giovanna Hoffmann. She's in here. Off her line quickly. Pero Magni. Got to be careful leading like that. And it's been given as a France free kick.
Hoffmann clatters into her afterwards. Pero Magni does well. Times it right. Hoffmann it's a collision. It's the common collision. It happens every time a goal
really
comes down.
Really smart by Hoffmann. She just drops deeper, then makes the run and gives her a bit of a run up to it. Yeah,
Pero Magni does well. You're right.
Drags her leg out. If she keeps that as high as she brings it back, that's really smart goalkeeping. If she keeps that up, straight red card.
100%.
It's a fun game of football, but she drags it back in. It's just a classic. Hoffman's got nowhere to go, but. It's the Pero Magni's won the ball.
Yeah, it's a really good piece of goalkeeping. Coming out sharp off her line, because that is the one thing that can save you. Because France in transition haven't been brilliant, but if your goalkeeper's quick off her line, then it won't matter. Because Germany, but it does confuse me a little bit. Because if you're going to play in behind and ball over the top, why wouldn't you start there, Schuler?
Exactly what I said.
Like Hoffman's great if you're going to be direct.
What I will say is, I think the entire game plan was ruined when Hendrick decided to just grab and box hair, because that has changed now how they're playing.
There's no point holding the ball up. Yeah, because you're not going to get
no one else on the pitch to help.
That Nusken header,
so good,
so good,
and it saved what otherwise would have been a nothing game. Because without that, a moment that France just couldn't deal with, because they didn't have an advantage. That saved the game, really. Yeah,
I think there'll be frustration on both sides of the dugout. I think for France, they'll be frustrated that with the fact that Germany have got a player less, and the fact that France went ahead, they will be disappointed to be in the position they're currently in. For Germany, they'll also be frustrated because they will feel let down and that they should have 11 players on the pitch.
Yeah, I think Christian Vuk is frustrated at everything
He's done well to calm himself down a little bit, because there was one point where he looked like he was going to punch the fourth official and get himself
another. Storm on the pitch, take out the ref. And get trip up someone Batcher.
I think he's probably realised.
That side. Batcher to Diani. Kleinhahn goes to close it down. Diani across the box. Katoto can't meet it. Important header away.
Germany
back and act.
Got to be careful with these tackles. That was another one where Diani crosses the ball in.
Was she in the box?
Kleinhahn just dives in here.
Yeah, she did.
That is a risky one. Really
It's
risky
like Reason's one that gave away the penalty early on against
God,
Spain.
that is not a good one. That is a bit fortunate. Well, the other one,
Toto
to be fair,
heads
one in
that
the second
goalwards,
half,
Nat gets in front of it.
when Bene runs back in, the ball gets played across. Spain cut it back yesterday, and then Bene just came and smashed into her. Got to be careful. That's the second one since the penalty they had that gave away that Germany have got away with a little bit.
Erica Rose onto the stream says, on a positive note, Chelsea players have been wonderful this tournament. Very true. Can't think of a single one that's had a poor tournament. I think Baltimore's been quieter than I expected, but
She hasn't really played, to be fair.
yeah.
She didn't start match week 2. Hasn't started tonight. Scored against England. But she could have been in this kind of tournament where she, finishes top goal scorer and takes the tournament.
How good she was in qualifying, I think we could have seen more. Jean-Francois has been a breath of fresh air, and she's got the ball again here. Pokes one through. Overload now. Karchawi to the right-hand side. Katoto. Giannis to get on side. What a block from Yanina Minga recovering back in there. Katoto now just in the wrong position, really. Not where she can do her best work, and that really smartly won a goal kick there, Yanina Minga.
Brilliant defending. The initial block to get in the way of the first cross, and then blocks it again. And ends up blocking it back into the French player to win a goal kick. Really good defending from Minga.
Sarah Herseg says, who is better if someone watching live? We're watching live. Sarah, welcome to the stream. It's an arbitrary question at this stage, given Germany down to 10 players. Germany done really well. Both have done well. That's the thing. France are playing some really good football and just haven't been able to find that last goal, another goal to put them back in front. And Germany have done really well to remain defensively solid and to keep fighting despite being down a player. So, yeah, it's I don't think either. I mean, obviously France look like the more dominant side because they're a team with an extra player, but ultimately both sides have performed very well considering.
Yeah.
FL says Minga is really good. Yeah, well, that is the half. France 1, Germany 1. Doesn't tell the full tale of what's been an exciting first 45 minutes. A penalty from Grace Galloro, an incredible header from Sioka Nuskin. The goals that dictate the scoreline at half-time. Germany down a player, but they've fought really hard. France, I think, will feel they could have done better. But 45 minutes to find a goal against a 10-player side, they'll back themselves in that equation. So at the half-time, it's France 1, Germany 1.
What a half of football. And the quarterfinals at this Euros keeps on delivering. We have had 4 brilliant matchups. And this game, I mean, that first half has absolutely flown by. Action-packed stuff from start to finish. Red cards and penalties to kick us off. A goal against the run of play in the middle. And then towards the end, a lot of hard-fought battles. Are very aggressive from both sides, especially from a German point of view. They are coming in, they're looking to be assertive. And I think both sides have crossed the line quite a few times. And that is shown by the fact that Germany are down to 10. Their managers been booked, but also France have picked up a couple of cards themselves. So it has been that kind of game. But it's exactly what you want to see from a quarter-final. 2 of the best sides in the world going 110%. Very aggressive, very positive play. Yes, that game has been shifted by the Germany red card a little bit because Germany are having to sit deeper. But the energy is still there. And it's really good to see 2 top-quality sides just battling it out for a place in the semi-finals. It was a brilliant contest when they met 3 years ago in the semi-final of 2022. So to see them going at it once again in the quarterfinals this year is great to see. Both in very different positions and with new managers and legends retiring and not being part of the setup, but both sides still delivering a very, very good game. I think both sides will be okay with where that first half's at because they're not losing, but a lot of improvements for both nations to make in the second half, especially for France, because they will feel that with the player advantage that they've got, they should really be in the ascendancy, and they want to make sure that they can come out and find that leading goal early doors, because the longer it stays 1-1, the more the game will come towards Germany, the more that France will get frustrated, and once that France frustration kicks in, the game will start to balance out, and Germany will start to feel like they've got a real chance of getting something from this, because they've already proven, even when 10 players on the break against run of play, they can still get a goal. It's exactly what they did for the equalizer, and there's nothing stopping them from doing it again to go and grab a potential winner.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I think Germany have done really well to continue to fight. As Shadow Football says in the live chat, welcome to the stream, by the way, it says Nak and Minga have been huge. Absolutely. as testament to Germany's defensive strength. They've been able to, and actually Vuk's dynamism, which is something we haven't spoken about enough at this tournament because we haven't seen it enough.
Yeah.
But he's a coach who can adjust so quickly on the fly. I remember watching his Germany side at the Under-20 World Cup a few years ago. They're really good at adjusting to different situations, different opponents, and that's why they were so successful, and that's why ultimately he's been given this role. But we've not seen him make those adjustments quick enough. In this game, when it's come down to having to make changes on the fly, he's been incredible. He's managed to make the right decisions at the right moments and got the players to fight for the team, and they've done so well so far, Jeremy. To go down to 10 players, they only had 11 players for a total of 7-8 minutes in that first half, and yet they've looked like they've had the same number as France, and that's what you do when you are able to be so compact and narrow, but then able to attack with quite a lot of very fast attack, looking to break away quickly, transition quickly. Hoffman's done really well up there, drawn so many fouls from Mbok and Lacroix, who seemingly don't know how to 1v1 defend without committing a foul this evening, especially Mbok. Don't think she's committed a single good challenge. So yeah, it's Hoffman's done really well to draw the fouls up there, and they're just not really linking up with. She's not really linking up with other players at the moment. That's been the only flaw, but understandably difficult to do so with Germany's predicament at the moment, given the fact that they're down to 10 players. So yeah, it's been a tough first half for Germany, but they've fought hard. They've done well. I think France will feel they should be in front, and they probably deserve to be. They've played some really good stuff, especially those combinations in the final third. They've been really aesthetically pleasing, but also very tactically effective. So, yeah, really good stuff. And I think we're seeing from France that blueprint that shows they could go on and win later in this competition. Laurent Bonnaday, I think, has got his side playing some really good football. So, I think if they were to get through, either them or Germany getting through will give Spain a better game than people expect. My only problem with Germany is I just don't know whether they've dealt well with France playing combinations, but can they do that again against the Spain side? For me, France, though, attacking the way that they do against Spain, that's going to be a really good game of football. Either way, both these sides showing they've got quality to compete later in this tournament. Yeah,
100%. As you say, I think Germany have done well in terms of adapting and putting together this makeshift side. They've lost 4 defenders already at this tournament. You know, they lost captain Gwyn in match day 1 with an injury. Vamsa got sent off in match week 3, and tonight we've seen Hendrik sent off and Linda come off with an injury. So they are really depleted in the defensive third, but the fact they've looked so solid with all those players missing, it is a testament to the structure and to the centre-half partnership, who, again, I criticised a lot because I thought they were really poor against Sweden, but they look so much better tonight, and it's been difficult to contain that French attack. Again, for France, it's the same players popping up and delivering. Karchaoui and Batcher have ran the show in the midfield. It's all, France have got on the ball and looked really tidy. Cascarino has looked so dangerous once again at this tournament, and I think that yes, it's been a little bit quiet from Diani and a little bit quiet from Katoto, but the thing is they're players, especially in Katoto, that if you get the ball to them, they will score. We saw that in match week 1. I don't think Katoto did too much in terms of link up or getting on the ball against England, but they got the ball to her in the penalty area and she scored. And that is the kind of player that she is. If you get the ball to her in the right positions, she will score from within 20 yards of the goal. So it's just about getting those players into the game. I think Diani has looked okay. Maybe Baltimore comes in for a little bit of... Because Germany are now sitting deep, France may look to bring on Baltimore to challenge in those one-on-ones. Diani is really good over the top, but because Germany are now sitting deep, I think they may need to look to Baltimore to come and unlock this German defence with that one-on-one ability.
I think Castrina's much more dangerous on the right as well than she did on the left. The other one I think could be Matteo, because Katoto's struggled, I have to say, really struggled tonight. With how fluid France's attack is, you need someone with a bit more dynamism, and Katoto isn't that. Katoto is your classic number 9, brutish physicality, great at running in behind, good hold up, good at on the turn, good at breaking in behind, very able finisher. But when you've got players dipping into different positions, we've seen it a few times where there was a combination, I particularly remember towards the end of the half, where Diani makes the run beyond her, she plays it back towards Katoto in a little bit of a wider area, and as soon as that first ball isn't on, she just seems to get stuck. It's like watching a robot who's programmed to just burst through things or take shots, got caught in a wider area and just didn't know what to do with the ball, and ultimately ended up trying trying to get a corner out of it, but ended up giving away a goal kick. A smart bit of play, smart bit of defending from Yanina Minga. So, yeah, I think potentially Matteo, who is a bit more dynamic in there, someone who can drop in, someone who could pull into wide areas, would supplement what's been a very fluid France attack. But, I mean, with that said, Katoto's still shown with the glimpses of opportunities that she's had in the penalty area that having someone with the physicality and aerial presence up against Nak and Minga is at least forcing them to do some very good defensive work. And it may create space on the edge of the box for players like Sakina Karchawi and others that can drop into that sort of position and pick up the ball and take shots. So, yeah, I think we've seen France play well. It's been fairly status quo for France so far. So, yeah, they've just not been able to find that second goal. Germany defended really well. Tough opposition. That's going to be tough to score against. But I think as this half goes on, more gaps will emerge for Germany. Yeah. That's the problem. With the playing with just 10 players, it's going to become very difficult.
100%. And again, we've both mentioned changes there, and they are going to be key in this football match, because if France keep things fresh, keep injecting energy into the front line throughout the game, we're looking at 55, 60, 65, just keep making these changes to keep the pressure, to keep the energy at 110%. France have just got to be careful they don't get caught in transition. Now, they're getting away with it a little bit at the moment because, and I think what is frustrating for Germany is because of the being a player down, Buell and Brand are having to sit really deep, which means even when Hoffman can get on the ball, she's got no support. And it's a shame, to be honest, to see two talented players have to sit so deep and to have all their danger and threat nullified by their own shape, forced through the change. But yeah, it's a shame. If Brandon Buell, and I think they will, the longer it stays 1-1 and the closer we get towards the 90 minutes, I think they will start to be a little bit more aggressive, look to get higher, look to cover those hard yards, getting up, getting down, being an option, but also getting back in. And that's the thing. The longer it stays 1-1, the game will come towards Germany and they will feel like they've got a chance to get something out of it. For France, it is very much about coming out early in this second half and hitting the ground running, getting an early goal, putting Germany's in doubt and looking to take control of this quarterfinal. Because if it goes 2-1 France, 3-1 France, then suddenly it's very much game over, and Germany will be looking. It will be a long way back for them. But if Germany can hang in there and remain in the game, then it's going to be difficult. Again, I mentioned that changes will be important for France. Same for Germany. Got to keep things fresh. When you're defending with 10 players, it is so difficult to keep going and to keep battling away for 90 or 120 minutes. So it's important for Christian Wirth to make sure that, again, he is running out of defensive subs. As I said, they have now got 4 defenders who are out of action. But if they can keep bringing players into that defensive third of the pitch, keep freshening things up in the midfield, in the front line, that'll just keep them going. So it's all about being proactive now from Christian Wirth. And for Bonadé and for France, they've got to be consistent. They've got to keep the pressure on. And if they just keep coming at Germany, eventually they'll find a way through and they'll get an opportunity to score. And if they take it, then I think that they will find themselves on course to reach the semi-finals.
Yeah, lots to go through in the live chat. Apologies if I miss your message, because I want to get through as many of them as we possibly can. But Shadow, welcome, saying Germany to attack down the left, release Clara Buell and let her run at DL Minder. Buell's got quality every time she's on the ball. Very true. Very explosive player. What I will say, has lacked that finishing touch, something you picked up on earlier. Hasn't provided a goal contribution yet at this tournament. So I think we need to see more from Clara Buell, but 100% agree. You can get her down that left-hand side, get her chase, with the ball at her feet, making opportunities. She's a very dangerous player. But the other thing for Germany now is they need players that will be secure in possession. Can't afford really to give it away at crucial moments, because that can leave them vulnerable if they get caught in transition. So that's something they've got to bear in mind. But definitely, bringing Clara Buell more into the game is never a negative. New echoing your thoughts. Gianni out for Baltimore. Coda says, if Germany survive, how can they beat Spain? Like this. Playing defensively solid and not pulling any player's hair would help. But they've done really well. And France play very similarly to Spain in attacking areas. Not probably the same quality or fluidity. I think with the way Spain play, it's ridiculously good. It's just the only slight difference is that France have Gayoro, who's a little bit deeper than you would say someone like a Bourmati. Bourmati's dropped a little, got more deeper. And I guess the fullbacks are slightly different in how they operate as well, and the fact that Salma Batcher's super aggressive, and Diamanda's less so. But again, Spain, quite similar. Gets very forward. Bache, more aggressive than Dialmeida, but is slightly more reserved. So they do play very similar ways. So Germany are learning here how they could possibly beat Spain. The problem is Spain probably have a slightly higher level of quality, especially in that zone 14. If you're looking at Gayoro and Karchawi, very dangerous players, but it's not Alexa Putellas and Aitana Bonmati. That's just where that difference lies. So got to play similar style. If it comes down to the fact that if it comes down to the fact that Spain ping balls top corner, well done, they're Spain. But you've got to try and just hope that doesn't happen and play some good football. Morning welcome to the stream. Says unglaublich. I feel like I know that word from when I studied German, but I don't remember. Saying first Van der should have learnt to keep her arms behind in the penalty area, and now Hendrik is stupid and as fair as you can be. Stop making TikToks and train it properly. Some damning words. Yeah, definitely shouldn't have grabbed anyone's hair. Not sure TikToks are directly responsible, but any slander of TikTok we will happily accept. So yeah, I think it's one of those shouldn't have made such a stupid decision at such a pivotal point in the game, and that has changed things for Germany. They did really well to fight back from there. Shall I saying some weird feeling tells me Germany will win and Clara will be at the heart of it. Fair enough. We'll see if that comes to fruition in this second half. It's going to be France to get us underway for another 45 minutes of action. Should be a very good second half. France need now to push on against Germany's 10. Germany have to remain solid while looking to try and find a winner at some point this evening. But it's going to be tough. Down a player. Down on their luck at this tournament so far, Germany. But can they keep progressing? Not sure what Tess Olsen is waiting for.
Someone's got to step up now for Germany. And as Shadow says, it could be Clara Biel. And what a night, what 45 minutes it would be for her to pick up her first contributions at this Euros. It could steer Germany into the semi-finals. But now is a time for someone on this pitch to step up for their nation. Moment of magic could be the difference between winning and losing this quarter-final.
Guyara's going to cramp by the time she gets to take this kick off. Not sure what the hold-up is. Everyone just stood around waiting as Olafsson looks around. But now, she puts her whistle to her mouth and decides not to start the game. She's in no rush. And there we go, we're back underway. Gayoro knocks it back and we've got another 45 minutes of action awaiting us. France won. Germany won the score at half-time. Who will come out on top after 90 minutes? Will it be all 11 players of France or the 10 remaining of Germany? We'll have to wait and see. Out to the left-hand side now with Lacra. Now Batcher. Here's Orion Jean-Francois. Knocks it across to Mbok. Carries it forward to